within UP, no, about fear, no.
Yes, the fear factor. I
If you
wanted to
love or
mention that.
feared, okay.
Yeah. No,
It's
I'll be
both, no.
honest.
But
I mean, I really want to
what's your
emphasize.
position on this issue? Yeah.
No,
What's your
I'm gonna say,
hypothesis?
I mean, of course. I mean, we're not Russia, right? We're not
Yeah.
China. We were never a full-fledged autocracy. But I mean, let's be just brutally honest. During Digong's time, we were kind of in what I call a twilight zone. And if you look at the SWS surveys, I don't know if you have in OCTA you have done surveys. There are a lot of surveys that show a large plurality at least. I think there was like 44% or something in one SWS survey said it's dangerous to publish negative opinion about the government. For me, that clearly tells me a huge number of Filipino, at least a huge plurality. I mean, the 40% can be a president in this country. Last time I checked,
Yeah.
you know, they're openly admitting that they're not 100% sure if they can be very honest about what they're saying. Now, I know you coming from survey agencies, obviously you're saying that shouldn't undermine the integrity of your surveys. We had Ronnie Holmes on this podcast who told us all the mechanics and the SOPs they used to make sure na walang nagbabantay, walang shadowing, you know, all of those.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what I'm saying is that even if no one is shadowing you, even if you are not Putin's Russia, it's hard to imagine that the fear of Duterte did not go with the love for Duterte. I mean, I know I'm getting into political psychology already, and probably we have to bring Ma'am Clarita Carlos here.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of literature, academic literature, on how fear and love kind of have a distortionary effect. I mean, I can give you a whole list of dictators. I'm not saying Duterte is a dictator, but I can give you a whole list of dictators with 90% approval rating, which didn't look totally crazy at that moment. And then nung nawala na yung dictator, suddenly opinions change. Now, I'm not saying Digong is a dictator. I'm just saying fear has a distortionary effect, or at least has an effect in terms of approval. I mean, if you cannot beat someone, rather love that person, right? If people are dying right and left, you have thousands of EJKs, you rather love this person. You rather not express. I know this is not something that survey guys want to hear.
Yeah, but you know, it's something worth studying. You know, it's worth studying. You know, Randy David gave this basically argued this position maybe 4 years ago. No, that it's fear. It's fear that is driving his numbers up. It's fear that's driving compliance, and maybe that is correct. But you know, we still have to back it up with actual data, no. But it runs against what we're seeing now, whether it's SWS, Pulse, or even OCTA. When you look at the numbers of Duterte, the preference for him as senator, the continuing preference for him to be the next president, even kahit na constitutionally hindi siya pwede. When you look at his endorsement power, I don't think people fear him. He's not to be feared now. In fact, if we don't know what the first quarter will hold, no, as far as his numbers are concerned, but you know, they seem to be still very influential, and you know, these numbers could even go up, no, because of what happened over the last month or so. Some people are gonna take a hit in government. It's possible,
right?
So is it possible na hindi naman takot lahat ng tao sa kanya? There might be a segment that is, but if people still prefer him, despite the fact that he's not in power, then it's not about fear, Richard. It may be something else, no? The persona. The SWS has a paper written by Dr. Rude and Dr. Tigno, which looked at why his numbers are continue to be high, no? And you know, people also should look into why they continue to be stable all throughout his administration, despite the various faux pas, no, and missteps, and in general fact that you know, he ended very badly. You know, the economy ended not with development and democracy, but with debt and death, no. At the end of his, you know,
well, we see this all around, right? Bolsonaro's number,
yes, I know.
Modi's number kept high. So we have a lot of comparative data that shows you that strong men are very good in actually doing during crisis period. I mean, as the line goes during the you know, in the Game of Thrones, chaos is a ladder. Chaos is a ladder. You can exploit those moments. And I think this is where also disinformation comes in, narratives come in, like lahat na nangyaring death.
But you know, Richard, you can also say that he put in 3 million students to college.
Sure.
The free tertiary education, that one thing he passed during his administration made his administration. By the way, he never supported it truly. He
And social
supported
spending
last
actually
minute.
went up. Social spending
Yeah,
went up during Digong. Infrastructure
yeah,
spending went up during
infrastructure.
Digong. Yeah, he did
Infrastructure
a
was in
lot
the
of
trillions. Of course, a lot of it went to corruption, no? But the thing is, some work got
wala akong
done.
sinabi dyan. Wala
Oh,
akong
I know,
sinabi.
that apparently, no?
Wala
Okay,
akong
let's go
sinabi dyan.
apparently. Okay, apparently a lot of it was went into negative bureaucratic behavior. Sige, let's put
Yeah,
it
yeah.
that way.
It's a
Mildly.
structural friction.
Yeah. But the thing is, a lot of people were employed. A lot of people, in a sense, until COVID, you saw signs of some nominal trickle down as far as the economy was concerned. And then you have this free tertiary education. That one alone would have ensured that he would have been the most popular president of all time. So while we disagree with this war on drugs, we disagree with most of the things he did as president, no, in terms of his style, his rhetoric. He did get to do some things, populist as they are, expensive as they are to sustain today. No, I really pity the current administration. They inherited so many programs that are so expensive, including the doubling of the salaries of our military men and the implications on retirement, the MUP. These are all very expensive social programs that we inherited from the Duterte's administration. But those, if you look at all of this together, together with this war on drugs, which by the way, SWS also has data. I mean, the public perception on crimes going down was real, and they have all that study. So when you put all of this together, yes, there was fear, but he was able to do certain things, and to a great extent, people voted for this administration because they wanted a certain sense of continuity as far as those policies were concerned. And by the way, the China policy was never popular anyway. So the president and the new administration was right in their new pivot. It's proven to be more popular now because people actually agree with the 6 out of 10 Filipinos support the administration's position in the West Philippine Sea. So,
I completely
all of those things together and do a more thorough study, no?
I see a perfect way that both of these arguments could be correct. I mean, let me be absolutely clear. I disagree with people who are saying this is a totally manufactured popularity. No, it's not. The evidence all around the world that strongman populism has a kind of quote-unquote charisma that perfectly fits our ecosystem, information ecosystem, existential challenge ecosystem. So I never agreed with some people that said, no, this is totally fake news. No, my argument though is that perhaps someone's approval should have been around 60-70%, which is closer to the median of other presidents at some point, whether it's Aquino, Ramos and all, but it went superlative. Maybe that's where the fear factor comes in. You get what I'm saying?
It's possible.
It's the boost there. It's the boost effect there. I never agreed. I never agreed with people who say he's not. I think he's genuinely popular. But the superlative numbers, the endurance of that popularity, I cannot separate it from the fear factor. Yun lang sinasabi ko. But speaking of the future, we know that Sara has been in the lead, but we know that other people like Senator Tulfo, we've seen some of the online surveys. We saw in
You're putting me on the spot, my friend.
No, you don't have to answer that. No, what I'm saying is it looks like a more competitive field nowadays, right? But it also proves, because Tulfo is also kind of a strong man aura, right? So in a way, it actually proves na it's a matter of varieties of populism, right? Do you get where I'm coming from?
Kind of populism is really bad for the country, Richard. You do know that, no? It's something we can sustain on a programmatic basis. It's something that in the long run will undermine both democracy and development. So we all have to speak up, no, and speak out, because it's sometimes irrational. I mean, you look at the tertiary education program, no? Although it's popular, and I won't be very popular after I say this. It's anti-poor. I mean, think about it. UP students who are millionaires get free education. I mean, it has to be rationalized, diba? We can't sustain something
socialized education
expensive, And it turns out that our flawed socialized education program or model in the UP may have been the best possible model to sustain this program. I don't believe that rich kids from UP should be given full subsidy. Some of them in my class tell me, we don't deserve this. we drive
Porsche pa
very
nga yung iba eh.
cars.
Naka-Lexus, BMW, Porsche pa nga
Yeah,
yung iba eh. I
one of
was
my
finished
students was
college.
telling me, quite
Yeah.
frankly, I drive a car of this kind, and it's almost criminal for me to actually just get this subsidy, but there's no way for them to return it. So sabi ko, you become a good citizen, return it back by serving your country, di ba? I know it's very idealistic, but you know me naman in my classes, eh. That's how I end my classes. It's really about citizenship and leadership. In the end, what we do as citizens, is probably more important than anything government does, no? As far as governance and democracy is concerned. And that's why it's important for us to find the way for citizens to get more engaged. And I think it starts really by, with media people like you, with academics like you, who inform and empower with true knowledge. No? And that's where I think survey companies find a niche. No, the more we inform, the more empowered people are. The better we do our work with integrity, with the best possible methods being utilized, the more science we bring into the thing, the more the surveys matter, no, in the life of our country. So this is something we all have to advocate as individuals, as members of organizations like OCTA, like UP. So it is what it is. We're in interesting times, Richard. For the first time in a long time, we have factors running the show that are outside of the country, bigger than the Romaldeses, the Marcoses, the parochialism, the personalism that pervades our politics. We have strong players in the global arena.
Yeah, the new Cold War. We're kind of the
no?
Berlin of the 21st century, if I can put it.
Exactly. Yeah, you're
we're
right.
caught
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
middle. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's complex, diba? It's extremely complex now. These are entities that are driving the dynamics at the domestic level, and for the first time, we really experience, no, what, no, and they're taking sides, they're influencing, and we have as people to be conscious of this.